It is time to get real with you guys. You know what? I have been around the block a couple of times. I've been doing this professionally for 8 years, and in this time I've built 2 businesses. One that focuses solely on corporate videos, advertising videos, online advertising, and we've dabbled in the TVC world as well. And then the other company that solely does weddings. And in this time, I've learned a couple of things that I can guarantee you would have helped me to excel my filmmaking and content creation and video creation and overall just being a creator, that would have excelled this journey just a little bit more. So today I thought maybe I'm going to share with you guys 3 things that I wish I knew sooner, but I'm glad I can give it to you now because you can skip some of the steps, you know. So the first one would definitely be having that long-term commitment towards growth and learning. We as human beings would not have evolved to the point where we are now without growth, without learning from what other people did, learning from our own, double checking that thing's recording, learning from our own mistakes, from our own failures. And I've dabbled in a couple of audiobooks in my life. I've read a couple of business books, and there was a time where I thought to myself, wow, I'm reading so much, I'm listening to so many educational books and podcasts and watching so many videos, but there was something missing. I wasn't applying anything, literally anything in the work that I was producing. I wasn't necessarily trying to apply and test out all of the things that I was learning out of self-help books and business books. I wasn't trying to improve. I just thought magically reading it or listening to it is going to change everything, until you start thinking differently about everything and you start applying everything that you learn. That's when serious growth and acceleration happens, and you start to learn a lot more about yourself and your abilities and what you want to achieve. So, the second thing that I cannot stress enough, and man, if I just learned this one like a year or two earlier, and that's really stepping up your planning and prioritizing game. Honestly, I used to have a mindset of, no, I need to focus on one project at a time for me to fully invest in the project. And that is not sustainable. If you really want to grow in the industry, and if you really want to take on the work that you have to take on to pay the bills, you're going to have to focus on a lot of projects at once. And that requires a tremendous amount of planning. I think I would have saved so much money if I just took the time to plan, because the time you take planning certain things like different shoots and different edits and different pre-productions that need to happen at the same time, if I prioritized and planned most of those things out better, I would have cracked less. And yeah, now I've discovered the beauty of actually planning out and really focusing on different projects at the same time and really finding a momentum in that, you know, because sometimes you feel inspired to focus on a long-term project or to work on a long-term project with a client, and sometimes you have to focus on the instant ones that can get out. So once you prioritize and plan, you can save a lot of money and you can do a lot more. There's so much things out there on how to be very productive, but sometimes not all of that works with everyone. Not all of that works with every single type of personality. I can't be too rigid, so I have certain things that I need to get checked off a list in a day, in a week, and in a month. If you consider yourself a content creator or a filmmaker, then you consider yourself to be a scriptwriter, a producer, a videographer, a lighting specialist, a audio specialist, an editor. The list can go on and on. Now, if you get better at all of that at the same time while you're taking on projects, you're gonna have to plan out and you're gonna have to nail the planning. Otherwise, you're gonna crack and you're gonna hate what you do. The other thing from the book of experience that I can teach you is to learn to say no and learn to say yes to the right people. Now, I've been there. There's a paycheck involved and you feel kind of forced to take on certain work or say yes to certain jobs or say yes to certain agreements, and you find yourself shooting yourself in the foot, you know? Then you find yourself just saying yes to the right project, and that opens up many, many doors. Now, there's no right or wrong way to fish out when to say no and when to say yes, but if I can give some advice, if there's that feeling inside, some would call it intuition, if there's intuition that a scenario or a certain project or anything doesn't seem right or seem too good to be true, or just something doesn't feel right about it, then trust that instinct. When you do find the right ones to say yes to, that's when you're going to start to feel a different type of appreciation as a creative or a creative problem solver. And you know, you're going to know, because the projects you really want to say yes to, that is going to align with your goals that you have. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you for watching until this point. Today was nothing fancy, I know, but it was just like an honest message that I want to give you, and something that I truly will apply in my life moving forward on a consistent basis. Just look who's chilling on the couch while I'm busy filming. Listen, if you're new to the channel, head up to the playlist right over there and just dazzle in there. Thank you so much for your time.